What's going on, everybody? This be your boy DJ Anonymous with Sports Biz Music, the podcast, episode 18. And I got a special guest, Christy Carter.
Yes, Christy Carter, C-A-R-T-E-R.
So introduce yourself to the people.
Okay, so yes, my name is Christy Carter. I started out as Story. That's how most people would know of me, as Story. They don't recognize me as, they say, her face looks familiar, but that name doesn't ring a bell. Because when I started out, my name was Story.
Why did you choose that name at first?
I grew out of it. You know, it was a name I created back in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Over time, there was just so many things that happened in my life in which I grew, and I completely outgrew that name. I got tired of hearing it. It gave me like this very corny kind of vibe. Like when people would call me Story, I'll forget that it was my name. And you know, I was more so leaning towards my true self. So I said, let me just go with my birth name and just keep it simple, because I love my name. Because Christy, the definition of Christy is follower of Christ, and I'm trying to take my music like in a more spiritual direction where I can mix spiritual with new era and soul and trap, like all in one, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
So
Yeah, your last name is Carter.
Carter.
You know that's a strong last name, and especially in the music industry.
I mean, yeah. A lot of people say, they always ask, you related to Lil Wayne? I'm like, come on, no.
You got Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, like it's a lot of.
Carter.
When she was Carter in the music industry, you know, y'all
Yeah. I'm ready to meet my family, you know. What's up, fam?
So what was the starting point of the music? Like, even like falling in love with music before you created music. When did all that started?
I mean, I want to say it started in church. You know, me being a kid, being a choir that I did not want to be in front of a whole bunch of faces that I didn't want to see. I started watching, it was more so movies that got me into music. The Temptations and the Five Heartbeats.
Okay.
Those were my two favorite movies of all time.
What about Sister Act?
Sister Act 2, I want to say that. Sister Act 2.
Yeah, Sister Act 2, yeah.
Kind of, sort of, but not like the Temptations and the Five Heartbeats. I watched them religiously like every weekend as if I'd never watched it before. And it was just because my mother, she had me at 35. So my mother is 61 right now, so she's very old school. So all the music that I grew up on was very old school. See, Sister Act, that was like what, the 90s?
Yeah, like 90s.
Whatever. And then you got music like the Temptations and the Five Heartbeats. It takes you all the way back, like to the 60s, the 50s, and so forth. You know, and that's where I feel like that's where my spirit it lies. Because I mean, if my mom had me at the time that she should have, I would be like what, 30 something right now. But yeah, I have an old soul, so.
I mean, that's the same thing. My mom had me, I believe, at like when she was like 32, 33, so she's about almost 60. I don't want to put her age out there. But I get what you mean, because I always tell people, like, growing up, I listen to, like, the Commodores, the Isley Brothers, a whole bunch of old school, you know, artists. And then as I got older, when I was like 7 or 8, my mom always listened to Lauryn Hill. You know, so that's when I got introduced. Yeah, Lauryn Hill is everybody's auntie.
Yeah. See, my mom, she don't know nothing about like Lauryn Hill or Erykah Badu or Jill Scott. She's more so like Commodores, Temptations. That's what she grew up on. But what I would tell her, because you know, when I would play music from them, I would say, this is the new era, like what you used to listen to. They're pretty much following in that same footstep. You know, they're not taking their music in a direction where they feel like most people will listen. They're taking their music in a direction where they feel like most people should listen, like, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's what I want to do. I want to make music, or you know, just listen to music that I feel like I can be proud of, that my mom can be proud of.
So pretty much you was basically influenced by the old school.
Yeah, old school blues and gospel music. That's what influenced me.
So it always been like that, like like middle school, high school, did you start like listening to like rap, hip hop?
Yeah, I want to say middle school is when I started, listening to like hip hop. I wasn't very fond of like Tupac and Biggie, like how everyone else is.
Yeah.
I didn't know nothing about them. In middle school, hanging around with my friends. I moved out of my mom's house and I was staying with my aunt because I wanted to be around my cousins. They were listening to hip hop, so it influenced me, at an older age than everyone else. So it never really clicked with me. Even to this day, hip hop is not my favorite genre, but if there's like a good enough flow, like the beat is dope, the message is fire, then
So high school, you went to Broward College.
Yeah.
Are you still going there, or you just taking a break from school?
Well, right now, I'm taking a break from school for the simple fact that I'm trying to put more attention, to my music. And personally, like I just didn't feel like I was putting my time into something. I just felt like if I'm gonna go to school, I should go to school doing something that I have like a passion in, that I love doing, and something that'll keep me there. Because I've been to school 3 times. I've went, left, and I haven't been back since. So until I find something that I need in school, for now it's music. Just working on my music.
So what was the first track that you ever recorded? How old you was?
My first track, 1999. At that time, I was 2018. Let's say 5 years ago. So I was like 20 years old at that time when I dropped 1999. And
which is a dope track.
Yeah.
When I thought about 1999, I thought about Prince.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And to be honest with you, like when I came up with the concept of 1999, I didn't even realize that there was so many other songs like it. Like I didn't know.
Like Common had 1999.
I didn't know 1999 was a thing. Like until literally after I dropped the track, like I started hearing people say "Party Like It's 1999."
Yeah.
I'm like, what? It was actually a thing. I did not know that because I'm not really into the outside world like that. I'm a homebody. So to know that I made something without even hearing it first that kind of related, I just felt like I was in the right place.
So speaking about 1999, what was the process about it? What's the story behind it?
1999 was just I was venting. I missed my childhood. I missed how things used to be, and not necessarily responsibilities as an adult, but the freedom to pretty much just, the innocence of being young. Back in the 90s, like everything was so much different. The music, it was well thought out. It wasn't about entertaining. It was about talent back then. The TV shows were better. I mean, more kids played outside. And I just miss that, in general. Not necessarily, to party, but as far as just society as a whole was so much better back then, and I just wanted to relive it for 3 minutes in the track. So that's what it was.
Yeah, because when I thought about 1999, I thought about wrestling, because wrestling was like the RIP to the WWF is WWE now, but I always like that was like the greatest year, because that's when when I was young, cause I was like 99, I was like 8, 7. So really, when I started watching wrestling for real, was 99, 2000. And that was like the golden era of everything. Music, sports entertainment, movies, like everything was just like perfect,
Miss those days.
It's a good old days.
It almost brings you to tears sometimes, because it just makes you, it really makes you compare today to back then. It's so different.
Actually, on my last episode, a couple episodes ago, with Galliano, we discussed which was the golden era of hip hop, music in general, but hip hop. She said the 90s, I said the 2000s, because the reason why is that the 90s was she said, like, which is true, it was more for the soul, like people took it more seriously. 2000s is more like you know, people were showing out. But at the same time, you still seen like they still loved it for it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the money, because the money was greater. You know, it was, you know, the beginning of the new millennium and stuff like that. But you had the Kanye West that came up during that times, and you know, I tell people all the time I love and miss that Kanye.
Yeah.
College Dropout, you know what I'm saying? Late Registration, Graduation. My favorite. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one of all time. Like from his category, so for his catalog. So
and see, I don't even listen to hip hop, but Graduation, that was one album of Kanye's from start to finish that I love. Like Kanye, Drake, who else? Childish Gambino
came out.
A lot too. Like, well, not necessarily in the 2000s. Like in the beginning of 2000.
He was late. He was late 2000.
Yeah, he was way late. But I'm just in like hip hop in general, because you know that it's not really my thing. But that was when I was more so interested. Like, what was that song? Juvenile.
He had a lot of songs. In My Life.
Yeah, You Bad, yeah.
Back that up.
That, like, at that time, because it was so catchy, that's what kind of opened up my ears to hip-hop at that time. Like, music like that, something that can give me, like, a vibe and, you know, get me up on my seat. That's what got me interested. And then later on, it was lyrics, and then after that, it was flow, and after that, it was melody. So
with me, I always tell people, like, I wasn't really a lyrical person, but, you know, if you was a Biggie, Tupac, J. Cole, Kendrick, Ludacris, like Eminem, like I'm naming just artists that like I'm not just gonna listen to the beat, I'm listening to their lyrics, you know, Nas, like. But I always felt like the beat is like the core. It's the beat, the beat and the chorus. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like the core of the whole song. You know, in the 2000s, you know, I feel like that's when people start appreciating more about the beats and the melodies and things like that, rather than, you know, the lyrics and stuff. Don't get me wrong, the lyrics, you know, that's one of the first things, but
see, like back then, like the bars weren't as like you hear them bars nowadays, like how rappers can take their words and I can't explain it. You know bars, like
yeah.
They didn't have that many bars like back in the day. Back in the day was more so about rhyming. Like,
you had to rhyme.
Yeah, but now it's all about, you know.
It's like Kendrick, Lil Wayne, like J. Cole.
Especially Lil Wayne. Like, he just write bar after bar.
His vocabulary is very like it's unlimited. Like this man, I always like tell people like Lil Wayne vocabulary is like you can't deny the dude. Like, you know, people like him and Kendrick and Scarface, like it's a whole bunch of artists that, you know, Busta Rhymes, like they're just very creative, you know. So after 1999, I don't know if you had songs in between, because you had Dark Liquor was on there too. Tell me about that track, cause.
Okay, so Dark Liquor I released Valentine's Day of 2015 or 2015, and that song, have you heard of Anthony Hamilton? Charlene, that's the beat. I use that same beat, right? And it was pretty much a remake. I was responding to him, like in his song Charlene, he was pretty much talking about being on the road, being his woman, not really understanding all the late nights and the women, all the fans and groupies and stuff, and I gave her side of the story, you know, pretty much responding to him in a way, you know. Me, what I would do, like normally if I'm stuck at home while my man is probably on his way home from a tour or something like that, I'll probably, you know, have me a glass of wine, you know, at the time I had Hennessy, so that's what I wrote about, Dark Liquor. And, you know, just waiting, just pretty much giving that female perspective of what we go through when we're waiting. Because he made the song sound like, you know, baby, don't go, I love you, and have these people feel like, damn, don't leave him, he really love you, girl, he out there just making his music. But it's not easy for a woman, especially if she doesn't understand, like, you know, she supports you, but she don't understand how, if you really love her, how you can leave her, you know, like that. And that song was just me just responding to, you know, what some women, what goes on through their head when it comes to their significant other being out all the time and not showing them any attention. It's like neglect, but
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it kind of remind me of, you remember the artist Sparkle?
Yeah.
With her and R. Kelly.
Be careful.
That was like a response, I guess, to Women's Fed Up, I believe.
Yeah.
And like, to me, that was my like comparison. And you know, you don't really get that no more. You know, you remember Usher Confessions and stuff, and you know, Trey Songz, what's it called? Passion. What was it? Love, Passion. What album? Love. It was Love, Passion, Pleasure, I think.
I have no idea.
I forgot the name of the album, but you don't really get that. You know what I'm saying? Before I go to the next track, you know, a lot of people they'll feel that R&B is dead.
Yeah.
Do you feel that?
I don't feel that it's dead. I feel like it's still there. It's just right now there's a wave that's going on. That's like trap. I feel like trap is the wave. Like even R&B singers are merging trap with R&B. Like I feel like something that vibe, because I listen to the youth, like my younger siblings, like my nieces, my cousins, and I ask them what they're interested in watching and like feeling, and they're interested in like trap, like that music that real, you know, it speaks the truth, that's relatable, and also have that vibe, you know.
So like a Bryson Tiller, like that trap soul.
Yeah, trap soul and like Kodak.
Yeah.
Like I love
Kodak. That's you know, Pompano, no 954 in the building.
I love Kodak. Kodak sounds like my entire childhood. Like when I listen to his music, he reminds me of all my family members, like everybody, like in one track. And see, if you're not from Pompano, you won't understand Kodak, because there's a lot of people out there that hate Kodak because of, you know, what he does with his personal life or whatever, just the music he makes. But I just see it as, hey, he's from where I'm from.
I didn't even know they had a part in Pompano called the Noya, right?
The Noya.
The Noya Projects.
Well, that's the Ugly Corner.
Yeah.
That's off of like Henryville.
95, like this block, like the when you're on 95, you can't really see the neighborhoods, like it's blocked because the thing is lifted.
Yeah, you can't see it. It's a little small hood, you know, corner store, houses, whatever. I grew up around there, you know, my entire life. So, I mean, it looks way better than it did back in the days. They fixed it up a little bit, but yeah. My church, my childhood church is literally right there on the corner. It was knocked down after my granddad sold it. Now they build it up to another church or whatever, but
I be trying to tell people, we like Florida, even though we a lot different from a lot of the other southern states, you know, this still the Bible Belt. Like I always tell people, because they think of the Bible Belt, they think about Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, the Carolinas, Kentucky, but Florida's the Bible Belt too. Like people from up north, like New York and like out west, they'll say like, dang, like, you know, South Florida, like when you go to Dayton, Broward, and Palm Beach, there's always a church or whatever.
yeah.
Either it's a Baptist church, a Catholic church.
For real, there's
always
two churches in my neighborhood, like, and they're less than a mile apart, like less than a mile. Like even in Dillard, there's
there's a lot of
churches. There's like, well, it's not two, it's more than one. But as far as what I can see outside of my school, 2 churches, you know. So, I mean, but I feel like, see, with that, it's so many, like with the church, I feel like there's more real people outside of church.
Of course, yeah.
Than inside of church.
I agree, because, like, don't get me wrong, I'm one of the people, I don't really go to, like, growing up, my grandma, she was, like, she was one of the few church women that, like, loved to go to church, and she loved it, like, she was in the choir. So, me and my nephews and my siblings, we was all, like, raised in the church, you know what I'm saying? Like, my mom, everybody was raised, like, you know, in the church. So after like probably like middle schoolish, I stopped going because one, my grandma, she wasn't able to go to church no more after her second stroke. So she couldn't really, you know, go no more. So because she was like, it was her and my older sister, they was like the ones that, you know, always made sure I went to church. But as I got grown, like it was times, you kind of lose your faith, Like when I was in 11th grade, I lost faith in everything, you know what I'm saying? But I always tell people, if you haven't went through that, or like just question it a little bit, you don't really believe, because I believe after that, like I really was like, you know what, maybe it was just me, question a lot of things, because my 11th grade year was the most hardest year. Like, my grandma, she was sick and stuff. I was doing football. That was like my first year playing varsity football. My grades wasn't I had good grades, but it wasn't at my expectations. I had to get ready for college. Taking them standard testing and stuff like that. So, but after that, I'm like, I feel like if it wasn't for that challenge, I wouldn't be as close to to God than I was 5, 6, 7 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
same
it's true though. Like it's not a lot of. I'm not saying not everybody is fake in church, but you don't have that no more.
Yeah.
You don't have the genuine people that be like, come to church.
Yeah.
But I always felt like nowadays, if you don't go to church, you the devil. I'm like, no, I'm not. I pray every day. I pray when I get up. I always pray before I eat. I pray before I go to sleep, or even in between.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Me too. Randomly, like it'll happen. See, I drive far. I drive 20 miles to work every day. And I pray every morning before I get on that road. I take the turnpike all the way from Pompano to Delray. Well, it's not 20 miles. It's more like 15 or something like that. But I pray. When I wake up, I pray when I get to work, thanking him for getting me there safely, because I've seen so many accidents, or was in traffic because of so many accidents. And back when I was younger, my grandfather, he built our church, like our family church. He built that from the ground up, and he was the pastor, bishop. He had a stroke. He actually had multiple strokes. The first stroke he had was during service. I remember that day like it was yesterday. I may have been like 7 or 8 or something like that, and I remember that day because it was weird. He walked off the pulpit, and I'm like, church ain't over. Like, normally church lasts a lot longer, because as a kid, you waiting for church to be over, and I'm like, what, church over that long? You knew something was wrong.
Something was off.
Yeah, he had that stroke then, and everything kind of fell apart. He was like the one that held us together when it came to church and all of that. And I feel like, over like the years, so many changes happened with me, where I would meet new people. They would give me their perspective on God. And it would shift my views, because, I ain't gonna lie, like it made a lot of sense. I just didn't understand how, back in the days, as slaves, how they took everything from us, like everything. We couldn't color, we couldn't do anything that progress like our minds, but they give us a Bible freely, like it's nothing, And I feel like over time the Bible was perverted. The word isn't how it was years and years
they had
ago.
different types of Bibles too at that. Like this whole bunch of different.
Yeah, exactly.
They claimed that the real Bible is in Jerusalem. No, was it Jerusalem?
I think I heard that too. It may be Jerusalem, because I heard.
Yeah, like they say, like a whole bunch of people, like a whole bunch of security, like they guarded. Like you can't like go to. It's like the Declaration of Independence. Like that's how viable it is. But me is that I read the Bible time to time, but then again that goes back to like you don't have to always read it. I always felt like you read it when you want to, when you need it, in terms of like when you need a message. And you right, like it's like it like people rewrite it. The man, people tend to forget the man wrote the Bible. You know what I'm saying?
Beginning to end. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it just like growing up. I went to a Catholic church, not Catholic church, a Catholic school. My church is Episcopal, so it's like it's kind of close. We like cousins to the Catholics. So, but they see us as what they call that? What's the word? Damn, I forgot the name. Damn, I forgot.
I would help you, but I don't know.
I forgot because, like, you got either, back in the day, either you Christian or you're Catholic or whatever. I forgot the name of the damn thing. But anyway, but they used to always tell us about sin and the different sins and things like that. And, it's important to read the Bible every day and things like that. I don't know. I just never been that type of person to, like...
You talking about, like, Jehovah's Witnesses? Mormons?
Them type of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like...
Because I had some Mormons come over my house one day, like, trying to tell me about the Bible, like, a different Bible, though. Like, not the Holy Bible, King James, but a different Bible. But,
I mean, shout out to them. I don't have no, I ain't have nothing against them. My only thing especially with Jehovah's Witnesses, I feel like they try to force you in it. Yeah. You can't force somebody to believe in something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It
knocking
just
on doors and stuff like that. I always felt like that was a bit much, but in a way, spiritually, I understood. Because, in the Bible, it speaks of us, going out and helping those that are lost, But when they wake up early in the morning, come knocking at your door at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, you're not even up yet. That's my only problem.
Yeah.
But I was young back then. They don't do that as much as they did back in the days. Like, I don't get no Jehovah's Witnesses knocking on my door.
Because of Friday.
Huh?
Because of Friday. You know the movie Friday?
You think that's why?
Yeah. I'll just play.
I would say that's why.
But, the other track, because, this is a great conversation. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to forget about the Cool Kids track. You was telling me about a little bit about, like, why you wrote it and stuff like that before the podcast, but I want you to, share with the people on what's the story behind it and the process of doing it, because it's an awesome track.
Yeah, thank you. When I wrote the track, it was pretty much based off of my social life, which is, like, non-existent. I don't really have, like, friends that I hang out with, like, on a consistent basis. It's every once in a while, and I always appreciate any time I hang out with, cool people. But I was never cool, I was never popular. I was never friends with the popular kids. I mean, I would say hey or whatever, but I just knew that what they wanted or what they expected from me, I didn't have that. So I wasn't gonna fake like that was me. Like, I just stayed to myself. I kept my mouth closed and I observed. And that's pretty much what the Cool Kids about, is just my observations of just what it takes to be, cool and all of that. But I know so many kids that were bullied back in the day. They have their own businesses. They're shooting. They're making music. Ken Jones.
Oh yeah, Ken.
He's my classmate.
Is Ken Jones? I thought he was from Tallahassee.
I mean, I don't know his story. I just know I've been his classmate since the 9th grade in high school.
So he's from Broward? Or
I don't know if he maybe moved to Broward, I don't, because I wasn't from Fort Lauderdale, so I didn't know anyone. I don't know if maybe he moved to Fort Lauderdale his freshman year in high school. All I know is that he's been at my school since my freshman year, and I don't know his story. So if he says he's from Tallahassee, then I assume
no, because on the show he said he was from Miami. But I remember in the bio he was from, like, Tallahassee. I don't know. You know what? Us Floridians, we move around a lot within the state.
Real?
Like, I knew people from down south, South Miami that move up to, like, Orlando and stuff.
I just know that with Ken Jones, he was talked about a lot. Like, kids picked on him. He didn't care. He didn't let it, like, bother him. He didn't let it, he was very goofy and very, like, don't quote me on this is what they say, corny. People thought he was very corny. I hear all the time, like, throughout our entire school year, that he was corny, but I knew him. I was actually friends with him. Like, I knew him personally because of music, and he was very, very talented, like, from the jump. Like, man he produces his beats, he plays instruments, he sings, he raps, he does all of that, and he also was, using the studio at the high school as well, in which sometimes they would air their music on the intercom, or whatever like that. So he was doing his thing. So just because those cool kids, you feel me, didn't understand him or whatever, it didn't change the fact that this guy is talented and his future is undeniable. So like, look at him now. It's like, he may still be corny, because I hear that too. Yeah, he may be rich and famous now, but he's still corny. It doesn't matter.
So
it doesn't matter.
I look, for example, perfect example. You know who one of the people I look up to as a businessman? Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon.
Why? Because people gotta understand, Nick Cannon is from San Diego, but he's from like the hood of San Diego. Like, he's like, as you get older, you start, learning stuff. Like San Diego, people always talk about LA and all this stuff, and Oakland, but San Diego have a lot of gangs down there. Like they is like, I'm not gonna lie. Like for example, like 10 years ago, people from Miami, from Dade, you used to think like Broward ain't really, Broward was like that place, and vice versa too, like. But people didn't understand, like, just like Dade and Broward and Palm Beach, we have our good side. You got the beaches, you got the suburbs and stuff, but then you also got the Opalakas, the Pompanos, the Belle Glades.
Miami, like in Wynwood, literally, you walk right around the corner.
It's the hood, it's overtime.
Like,
all that's technically overtime.
The first time I went to Wynwood, I got lost because I was looking for parking. I'm like, where the hell am I? Like, how far have I been driving? And I was literally right around the corner. Like, they literally took the hood and just put art, like, all over. There's art everywhere. And I'm just like, wow, that's beautiful. Yeah,
because all that before, like, my granddad and and all, like, the old heads would tell me before, they're like, none of that was there. That was, like, the hood. But, someone from over the beach came, whatever. I don't know, like, the true story. I'm not trying to act like I know the whole thing, but pretty much people came, put graffiti and stuff, and started painting and things like that, and it became, like, the art district. You know what I'm saying? So
I love it. Like, that was one at Miami. Well, I used to perform at this place called the Art Lab. That was my first performance.
I think I heard of that.
At the Art Lab. I'm not sure if you ever heard of the Foul Hundreds.
Yeah.
But the Foul Hundreds, they've been supporting me since 1999. Since 2013, they pretty much promote all underground local music, and they're very, very, like, they're very genuine, like, with everything that they do. And they've been supporting me since. Like, they're not my managers or anything. They're not my team. Nothing like that.
They like media, though. They like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but whatever I drop, whatever I do, they repost everything. Like, no questions asked, no hesitation whatsoever. And it's people like that that really keep me going, because it really shows me that there are people out there who aren't looking for anything in return. Just they're just trying to support good music, you know. And they were the ones who actually got me more into music. I wanted to get to know more people like them, and then I met Miami Warehouse. I'm not sure if you ever heard of them.
I know about they still, I don't know if they still do it. They probably still do it, but it was called
Culture. They had Culture Miami.
Art Central Miami. Shout out to them. That was one of my, like, first major gig.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What
like,
did you do there?
I was a DJ. I was one of the DJs at one point, but way at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
So I was
when they were in the tent?
Yeah, you remember that was in Hialeah?
Yeah.
I was when they first started over there. So it was me and three other DJs. And like, I seen the vision and stuff like that, but then, like, I tell a lot of people, for the ones who the artists that knew me, I took like a year off. I took like a year off for myself, so I lost a lot of contact. But when I came back, a lot of people, not a lot of people, but like the ones who really was like they were like, oh, Anonymous, where the hell you been at? You know what I'm saying? So it was like, that's one thing about anything, especially like in the music industry. Once you take that break, if you're not, like, if you still grinding, like, you gonna have some losses, but you gonna gain a lot more, because like, even the last couple years, I've been doing like the marketing and things like that, and now I got the podcast. It's getting up there. I'm not saying this is it blew up. But I'm just saying, it's getting to a point where
it's working. You know, you're working on it. That's it'll come. That'll all come. You know.
But that's what's up, though. Like they supported you.
Yeah. No, for real. Like it's very hard to find that support. Also, throughout the years, I met Christy Carter with R&B. I'm just throwing out a few names, you know, because I don't get a lot. People don't hit me up a lot, and I understand. I'm not consistent. I'm not working hard. I'm not dropping tracks every week. You know, I'm not. You know, I'm still growing in a way. So it's like I'm growing with my music.
You know Hakeem too, right, from New Miami?
Yeah.
Cause that's why
he recorded Dark Liquor.
Yeah, that's why seeing on his page, like, cause he like. We the same age. We all the same age. Like I'm 26, but I think he's a few months older than him, but or maybe a year. I don't know, but with me, like I always, when I look at like the locals, like from South Florida, I look at people who I can look up to. Like, yeah, we the same age, but he or she did a lot, and I want to work with them one day. One of the reasons for the podcast is for me to be able to meet these people and have conversations and, you know, build a relationship. And he's a smart man. I told him, like, I compare him to Jermaine Dupri because, yes, Miami's already established, but he opened up so many doors for so many other artists, you know, that's, you know, we call them the backpack rappers. You know what I'm saying? The backpack artists that just laid back, you know, they all have their own unique way, you know what I'm saying? Like versus the mainstream artists, you know what I'm saying? So like with him, like I looked up to him, I looked up to a couple other people, you know what I'm saying? So it just, for me, like we need, you know, people like him and stuff, even like yourself as an artist, to show the world that, you know, South Florida as a whole, we could just do amazing things because how Atlanta is, how, you know, LA is, how New York is, how Canada is now, because Canada is booming with a whole bunch of talent. Like we are that space, you know, where people could come to and be like, I want to work with her, him, and her. I want to go to this media outlet. I want to go to that clothing line right there because a whole bunch. It's just. It's wonderful, and then it's a small world.
You know, it's people like that. You know, because you said you looked up to him in a way, like he inspired you. Being with the New Miami. Like I've had a lot of people, you know, who inspired me over the past like year and a half, 2 years or so. And I'm just gonna name a few names if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine, because you gotta see.
First and foremost. Seldom A Human. She's a producer from here, SoFlo. I'm not sure if she's in Miami or, you know, where she, you know, but she has been there. She produced like a lot of she's gonna produce all of my beats on my next album, on my first project. And she's a part of this team called Fatal. They are all dope producers. They, you know, just released a project recently, and I'm on 2 of the tracks on that project.
What's the name of the project? It's on iTunes?
Yes, on iTunes.
What's the name of it?
VBX. VBX is, you know, the name of their...
They clip?
Yeah, I suck. Like, my terminology is right now, I don't know why it's all over the place, but yeah. That's the name, I guess. There's her team name. I'm not sure if that was... Yeah. That's her team name, VBX. And I'm on 2 of their tracks on there. I wrote, you know, my music and all that. And they've just been there for me. You know, they've been like family. It's when I link up with them, it's never business. Like, even when we're recording, even when we're making beats.
Is it them?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's them. And they perform... with Miami Warehouse as well. They perform with them like all the time.
Miami Warehouse need to holler at me because I'm looking for a spot to do my podcasting.
Yeah. Well, how about them? They just posted like a flyer on their page about, you know, using the facilities to do your work or whatever. They just recently did that, like if not a day or 2, maybe 3 ago, no more than that. But yeah, they're always welcome. Like I saw a few things, you know, that other people from the outside use their facilities for. So they're really good with that. The one thing that I love about them is the fact that they're always working. Like they're always doing something. Like if it's not music, it's art. It's not art. It's fashion. It's not fashion. It's yoga. It's not yoga. It's health. Like they're always doing something there. So I appreciate them too. The Foul Hundreds, you know, they've been. I'm not sure if you ever heard of Giovanna Flaw.
She do photos and stuff,
yes,
and she cool.
She was the closest thing that I've ever had to a manager. Her, like my first performances and stuff like that, she got all of them for me free of charge. She didn't ask me for anything. My first photo shoot was with her. She was also with the art lab, so my first performance was with her. So they literally watched me grow. She can. If I perform, I'm performing on the 17th at Miami Warehouse for Women Appreciation Month. She's not,
How much the tickets cost?
Okay, it's free for women. Guys, it's $7 RSVP.
It's on Eventbrite?
Yeah, I'm gonna post the link in my bio.
Because me and my fiance could come up.
Yeah, it's really. Yeah, you've been there before. It's really dope, and it's Women Appreciation Month. I'm gonna be performing my newest track. It's not even gonna be released at the time that I'm going to be performing. It's going to be released 2 days after the performance, the 19th, which is my birthday. And I'm just going to perform it there to give, you know, those who attend, like a sneak peek, you know, you heard it here first type of thing. So if you want to hear it early, you have to be there. You know, you have to come, whatever. It's just $7 for men, RSVP, free for women, because
the women could just come in and be like, hey, I'm here.
Free all night because it's Women Appreciation Month, you know.
I love that because I'm a gamer. So Twitch, I use Twitch to, you know, play my games and stuff. You know, it's like the YouTube for gamers.
Yeah.
They started like a campaign. I don't know if it just started this year or last year. Because Twitch is kind of new, but...
Yeah, I never heard of it.
They, you know, like they stream your video games and stuff like that. You actually watch people play games. But they have a thing where all the females that stream, they give them like a chance. I think like it's kind of like a scholarship or whatever. I'm not quoting, but they do so much for them during this whole month. You know what I'm saying? So I like that because I feel like, you know, equality is real. Like, and with me, you know, one day I'm gonna have, you know, daughters.
Right.
So I'm like, you know, I want especially like my daughters, like I want them to have their own business, have to do anything they want to do, but don't be afraid because, oh, you're not a man. Right. You know what I'm saying? I want them to be this first, you know, whomever. Like it was this woman, she's an African-American woman, but I forgot her name, but she has her own NASCAR team. That inspired me as a black man, as a minority, because you don't get that. NASCAR is dominant over, you know, Caucasians, you know, white people, you know what I'm saying? But to see that's inspiring me. I'm like, man, one day I can do that.
And it's crazy that you say that. I just went to church today, and my pastor, he was talking about Oprah, and he was like, you know, he watched an interview with Oprah when she was getting ready to do her first episode, the talk show. She was doing, that was her first talk show episode or whatever ever. She never did the talk show before. It's her first day. And behind, you know, the scenes, you know, she was very nervous because she was like, what if they don't like me? You know, I'm a black woman, I'm this, I'm that, blah, blah, blah. And she said Maya Angelou was there. And Maya Angelou grabbed her by her hands, looked her in the face and told her, you are enough. Like, you know, you're enough. And she said she used that throughout her entire career, you know, to get her to where she is. It's always just that, you know, some people just need that word, you know, that wisdom, because with so much, as an artist, we go through so much emotionally that we don't think straight. So for someone who may be on the outside, where they can it's kind of like throwing out a what's the little lifesaver thing when the lifeguards throw out the little floaty looking
the floaty thing. I know what you're talking. I don't know the name of it.
It's like that, because when you're drowning, you're panicking, so you're not even thinking of like reality of what you need to do. you're just scared. So when you have someone who isn't scared and they're throwing something out there to you, you know, and they're reeling you in, that's pretty much what, you know, like what that was. Like, I appreciate all those around me. Like, some of the other people that I wanted to shout out, Marv Cox, he's a rapper. Marv Cox, he's a rapper in Soul Flow. I'll give you his information later.
Give me everybody and their mama information.
I got you. Marv Cox and Retro. Retro is actually the engineer behind the Cool Kids. He's the one who helped me.
I think I heard of him before.
Yeah, he's so very talented. He was the one who actually got me in the studio to record the Cool Kids. Little did he know, when he hit me up, I gave up. I wasn't doing music no more. I was about to change my social media. I wanted to lead everybody who knew me musically a story, and I wanted to start out again as myself, but not as an artist. I didn't want to do music no more. I didn't want to sing. I didn't want to perform. Nothing. I was done. That was like what I was telling you earlier. When my aunt passed, I was ready to just stop, you know, and I didn't look at it as giving up. I looked at it as me, you know, putting time into my personal life because I felt like I was drowning. I'm trying to record music for people, perform for people so they can like me, but I don't like myself, you know. So it's like I don't want to keep working for other people. That's how it felt. And Retro, he hit me up, and I feel like it was heaven sent because he did not know. That very exact day, maybe like an hour or two before he messaged me, I made up my mind that I was done. He sent me a very long paragraph. He didn't have to do that. And when I tell you a light bulb went off, like my soul opened, I don't know what it was, but it was like an epiphany. Like, because I was done. And to have someone that I only knew for like a few months tell me, you know, how talented I am and how I should never sleep on my talent, you know, it was amazing because I don't get a lot of support, and I'm a humble person and I appreciate the little things. And for him to go out of his way and message me, I was just very thankful for that. And Marv Cox as well, because, you know, they're kind of a team, you know. Marv Cox was the one who introduced me to Retro because that's where he, you know, records his music. And just them collectively, they've just been there, you know, and to have friends who support you and appreciate you is the best.
It's always about being genuine at the end of the day.
Definitely, and I appreciate them for that. So
that's what's
gotta give a shout out because it's very rare to find people who support you because people treat everything like it's a competition, like there's no room for everybody. Like there's plenty of room for creativity, for art. There's plenty of room, you know.
Like I know my podcast is like 1 in a million, but it's not about competing, but it's about being different. Yeah. And my whole goal was for the podcast was to bring on people. It don't matter if you just started or you 5 years, 10 years, 1 year in. It's all about, you know, you have people that's in middle school, you have kids that's in middle school, you have even, you know, students, even people older than us. Yeah. That's like in their 30s and 40s, still don't know what they want to do with themselves. And, you know, they looking for inspiration.
Look at Taraji. Taraji didn't make her leading role until she was, 35? 34, 35? So it's plenty of time, you know. It's just because what it is that's why I try to stay off of social media. You know, you get caught up in the lifestyle of other people and how they live, and you don't know if that's how they really live. It's just a social media account, you know, nothing. You know, everything that glitters isn't gold, you know, so you see it all the time. People out here doing this, they doing that, but you don't know. They may be spending their lives, they may be struggling just like you, or they sacrifice enough to be that, you know, to get to that point. So it's like, you gotta stop, thinking so much about what other people have and focus on what you want. Like, that was my main focus, like focusing on what I needed, what I wanted out of all of this. And it wasn't money, it's not... Damn sure isn't fame. Not fame, but it's more so of, you know, for the people, for the youth. Because after we're gone, like, the old, not even us, but the old heads, like, people like Monique, people like, you know, just those who influence us in the way that we are now, like Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, Lauryn Hill, all those people, once they're gone, we are going to be in charge. If you see how things are going now, this world will be doomed if people like the youth was in charge. Because all they're listening to, you feel me, is, you know, like the trap, Don't get me wrong. I love trap music.
But it's like
it's a mess. It's
what Diddy said was I get what he meant, like when he was saying like it's getting diluted.
Yeah.
Because it's copy and paste. You know what I'm saying? It's not. You know that's why in my last podcast with Galliano, I was telling her like the 2000s was still diverse. Like it was a whole bunch of diversity. Even in the 2010s, there's a lot of diversity. But I feel like for artists like yourself and a whole bunch of other artists that I know, y'all don't get that shine because I feel like nowadays the music industry is money driven. It's not. Oh, this artist is dope. He or she is creative. Let's just help her out and things like that. It's always about having that quick money and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing with the generation. I mean, it's sad, but it could be fixed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It could be,
Definitely. I agree. I agree. But see, those who try to fix music, they label them as what? Crazy or incompetent. Like, look at like Lauryn Hill, like how they tried to just diminish her entire like platform, just her as an artist. Like watching some of Lauryn Hill's like older interviews and her speaking of herself and her background and just how she thinks, Lauryn Hill was very intelligent. Spiritually as well. And people don't understand that being spiritually intelligent is way more important than anything else. I don't care, because I am a firm believer of heaven, like dying and going to heaven, and that what you do on earth determines where you end after, and I definitely want to be somewhere or go somewhere where I feel like I deserve to be. And to hear her speak about her spirituality and the way she want to take her music and all of that inspired me. Like people like that. Just to know that there are people out here that are making good music that helps people as opposed to, freeze them in time for a second. Because I feel like that's what a lot of music does. They just freeze you in time for like the time being. You turn up, whatever. Once the song is over, okay, what's next?
Yeah, it's the nowadays people have the attention span is not like how it used to be. Yeah. But to get back with Lauryn Hill, I was always had these conversations about. She was with the Fugees, but she only got one solo track. And as an artist, as a whole, not even just compare her to like female artists, but I still consider her like the greats. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Well, if she was to come out with at least one more or two more, it'll solidify. Like it would be no question. I feel like if she came out, in my opinion, with at least one more golden album. Yeah. And especially in this time where you still have all the generations from like the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s. If she could have an album that can impact all of them, because I feel like she's one of the few artists that does. Yeah. To me, you got to put her on the what's it called? What's it called?
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore, yeah. My bad, y'all. Mount Rushmore, because she's like you have like Andre 3000, for example. He's one of them like. We always talk about the Jay-Z's and the Biggies and the Eminems, but you have these artists that's like, I think of it as like a Lego. You gotta have the important piece. Right. Like the Lauryn Hill, she's that important piece. You know what I'm saying?
When they had VH1 Soul, I don't see. I mean, I'm sure they do have it, but you may have to add it on. It doesn't come with like the basic cable package anymore. Like. It was VH1, it's VH1 Soul. It's not as popular as it used to be back in the days. And me, that's kind of sort of what I would like to do with my music. I want to bring soul back, something that speaks from within. Because, like I said, like I'm a very spiritual person. Like I tend to my spirituality every day. I never neglect it. I pray every day because I feel like my spirit controls everything. Like how I feel on the inside is going to reflect on the outside, period. Like you can be as beautiful as you want. Like for instance, Chris Brown, people are, when him and Rihanna first got into, the whole, whatever, with him hitting her, girls were literally saying, "Oh yeah, he can beat me. He Chris Brown. I'll let him beat me any day." Like
that's crazy, yeah.
And at that time, like I was just like I completely just I wasn't a fan anymore. I just completely just like stopped. But then over the years, you understand people are human. Things happen. You hear the full story, and it doesn't.
Yeah, 'cause she was abusive too. Like
it doesn't excuse what he did.
I know it doesn't excuse, but it's like I'll never put my hands on no woman, but never did, never will. But I feel like anything, like whether it's abusive, whether it's rape, whether it's anything, I feel like it's a man. It's like a double standard. Like a man is not taken seriously.
Yeah.
If it happened, because I knew men that you hear stories about men that when they was younger, they was raped by older women. They got taken advantage of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They think because oh man, we always think about like sex and stuff like that. It's not a big deal, but
that you're stronger. You should be able to stop a woman.
I grew up. I was one of them dudes. Like I grew up with men who was like, man, listen, I'm gonna lose my V card to someone who I really love, or like what I'm trying to say, like there was men that at my age that didn't really care about girls. They just wanted to play video games, have fun and stuff, go outside, things like that. But nowadays it's just like it's I don't know, like
everything changed now, and I feel like, to be honest with you, one of the main concerns I feel like is a big problem with the generation is television, it's social media, it's everything that we're distracted by. I feel like if we read more as opposed, I read this.
Thank you. Book. What's the name of the book?
It's not a book. It was a poem. It was a poem. And no, it wasn't a poem. It was an article. And it may have been an article from the book you're talking about. I'm not sure. I just know that.
No, the book that's you talking about.
Yeah. But I didn't know it was a book. See, all I read was an article, online, and it was of a Caucasian guy speaking about, blacks, and he was pretty much saying how he said, if you want to hide something from black people, put it in a book. He said, put it in a book. If you're trying to keep away the secret to what it takes to bring black people together so that they can take over, put it in a book. They won't read. Like, he was disrespecting black people in every way.
But that's real, though.
It was, that's what I mean. It wasn't disrespect. It was so real. Like, my family, like, it just sucks. Over the years as I grew up, I realized that I live in a family that is completely brainwashed. Like, they are completely brainwashed by society. Like, these Caucasian people, they came here, they took over the land, or whatever the case may be. They had a strategy, they stuck to it, and their strategy worked. It worked. Like, my mom, my family, they believe that they can eat and do whatever they want to do, and that if they pray about it, then they'll be okay. That's what they want us to do. That's even back in the slave days. Like, they want you to suffer and pray to someone or to something, and it may never even come because you're not doing what you need to do spiritually to get those blessings. Like, as far like when it comes to fasting and stuff like that and taking care of yourself, that's very important. And a lot of people feel like when they hear fasting, it means starving yourself. No, it means
anything.
And now all of this great sugar, it's being more. I think of fasting as eating things that was grown from the earth. Even
doing stuff too. Like, that's a fast too as well.
I remember I went on this 30-day fast where I stopped doing two things that I felt like I couldn't go without. One, because I was in a relationship. One was sex. The other was weed. I smoke a lot.
You do that. I don't do that, but you.
yeah. I mean, for me, it helped me through my depression.
Yeah.
It's not something that I need. It's just something that I do.
It's like it's like. Even I always tell people, even though I don't drink or smoke, you still like. I play video games. Video games help me create. Some people, like with me, I eat when I feel like, it's still a bad thing, because that's how, like, a lot of people become obese, is because just because you feel sad or depressed, things you have to eat.
Yeah.
No, you don't need to do that. You don't need to, like, for me, I learned as an older age, it's a mind thing. You have to go for all right. When I should feel like certain ways, like mad or sad or whatever, or even happy, I should go to the beach and just listen to music and just reflect. Because one thing I learned from entrepreneurs, they always say that you have to learn how to reflect. Once you reflect in your life every day, just take it could be 5 minutes to like an hour. If you could take that, you'll be successful, not only in your career but also like health-wise. Cause you need that time to just detox. You need to reflect. You need to be like, you know what? I just want to rest, relax my nerves, but at the same time, I want to be to myself.
And that's the best way to get in tune with your spirituality. Doing that, that's why, I appreciate my solitude. I appreciate, my knowledge, even or lack thereof. Because I feel like I still have a lot. I have a long way to go as far as what I need to know. But I'm just grateful that I have, that I am what I am, because it's enough to move forward. It's like putting gas in your car. Like, you need gas to go. And I feel like right now I'm on a full tank. I may not have gotten anywhere, but I have all I need to get from where I am to where I want to be. So that's all it takes, awareness. I feel like as long as you're aware and you notice that something needs to change, you're already, in a good place. You just have to make that first step. So.
What was the name of the book?
See, it wasn't I don't know what book you were talking about, but I read it in an article offline, and it was just shared to me. I don't even remember. I read it like a few years ago.
Yeah, because my thing, every time I have a interviewer on the show, if they have like a book or whatever, like I always make sure, because I'm trying to get back to like, I read I read articles and things like that, but I want to start like reading like books, doing like my own time. So me personally, I want to read a book because I want to, help my vocabulary, go up even more, but also just build a knowledge, because I just feel like, I always tell people I'm an open mind. Like, I like to learn new things. I want to, know about, like, different things, like, for example, like, transsexuals. Yeah. Like, I want to know why you did it. Right. Like, why you feel that way.
Like that, it just means that you have, open mind, and, to have a closed mind, it's horrible, because nowadays, like, everyone is going in so many different directions that having a closed mind will literally get you nowhere, because everyone around you they're so different now. Yeah. Like, everyone, like, back in the days, I remember being in school, if I mismatched or whatever, I got cracked on, I got bullied, I got picked on. Now, everyone is free to do whatever they want. They wear whatever they want. They dress according to their creativity, and it's accepted, So it's like, I feel like if you believe in something and you feel like something should change, don't force it on other people. Just do what you do. And let who you are, let it shine from the outside, and let it motivate others to do the same. But don't force your opinions or your belief or your awareness on anyone. Because, like, for instance, what was that I was talking about recently? I know it has something to do with women, because there was this guy on my account, and he was pretty much talking about this girl, and he was like, oh, I took this girl out, I bought her this, I bought her that, whatever. I mean, she didn't ask for it, but I did it for her. And he was like, you damn well I'm finna get in them skins. Like, that's what he said. Like, if I'm gonna do this for you, you feel me? Like, I need something in return. And I said, you know what? I don't even blame him for that, because most guys think that way. They do think that way. But girls, like, to be so free and open to just giving it away, you're giving these guys the wrong idea, and they are trying it on anybody they can, and then they bump into the wrong woman who not about that, who don't work like that, and then now it's fuck women. Like, women are horrible, So it's like, I just feel like, if we all focus on ourselves individually, not as a whole, individually, the world will be such a better place. Like, if we just focus on it. If I pay attention to me, you pay attention to you, she pay attention to her, she pay attention to her, the world will be a better place.
I always felt that if the world knew how to mind their own business, this would be a perfect world.
And it's not cliche, like, it's facts. It's not it's not because everyone relates to minding your own business, because it be the people that don't mind their own business preaching of minding everyone else minding their own business. It's like, first you have to be aware, you have to look in the mirror before, practice what you preach, pretty much. So
yeah, because like look at our president. Well, not our president.
yeah.
45. He with him, he don't mind his own business, and when I voted for Hillary because Hillary ain't perfect either, but at least Hillary, she knew of somewhat to mind her own business, most of the time, and she knew how to talk to people, because pretty much being like the leader, you have to learn how to talk to other leaders in order to avoid wars, but also gain different things that we need for our country. Because we, this is the United States. I love my country. It's not perfect, but like people say we have everything, but we still need stuff, from other countries that we don't have, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? But with him, he just he thinks he's just too arrogant.
That's why I appreciate Black Panther. You ever saw the Black Panther?
I'm trying to see it 3 more, 5 more.
Oh, you saw it? Okay.
Yeah, I seen it.
Yeah, me too. I want to see it again.
Yeah.
Too. But it was just so, there was just so much, oh my God, it just made so much sense. I just love, how they had those hidden messages in there, that related to what we go through now. Right now, the fact that us as Black people, we are not well equipped out here. We don't have what everyone else has, Caucasians have.
Yeah.
How they can come together, they stick together, even when they wrong.
Yeah.
They stick together as if they're right. Black people, we walk up and down the street. I remember one day I was walking down the street and these girls, they saw me and I heard them. I heard them. They said, I didn't hear them, but they were talking about me. But just to know that you can look at another fellow African American, you don't know who they are, they did nothing wrong to you, and you talk about them, and it's funny, that's how they, that's entertainment for them by talking about another person. But then again, how we were programmed, it's right now it's about breaking the noose, because I feel like African Americans, we walk around every day with the collar on. We're being controlled. We're being controlled with the food, with the things that we do, with our money and all of that.
Yeah.
Everything. Everything. So that's where I want to take my music. I want to put my music point my music in the direction of people that needs it, you know, and I want to make sure that it helps as opposed to entertain. That's the best word that I can describe what music is nowadays. It's just entertain.
But entertain, when people think of entertain, they're thinking you got to make people laugh. No, entertain is let's say I need a message that I need to hear, or something just make me feel good, or something I can relate to at the time. I could be in a positive or a negative state, but even if it's talking about what I'm going through that's negative, it'll motivate me to go positive, because the thing about music is that as an artist you have the control of, you can relate to people, but also you could give them that boost to be like, hey, listen, I went through this and that, X, Y, and Z, but now I'm like Nipsey Hussle, perfect example. He actually taught people how, especially artists, how to be businessmen. How to not, stay in one lane. You have to master your craft to open up new opportunities. You know what I'm saying? So an artist like him is even Jay-Z, the 444 album, Gucci Mane, Mr. Davis, those albums was give you a blueprint of how to be successful, how to be your own boss. Because at the end of the day, that's all what we want. We want to be at this point where we want to be free to do anything. I always say I want to be able to do stuff without having someone behind my back, shadowing me or telling me, oh no, not do this. Just like how earlier about the releasing your song. you independent. You know, once you get signed to a major label, depending on your status, they may not even let you even release that song at all.
I mean, look at what's her name? Kesha. Yeah, that artist. There was a whole like thing going on where her label was complete. They were purposely sabotaging her career. Mm-hmm. They were holding, like, even Tinashe. They held her back. She had an album or something like that. She was supposed to release, and they stopped her from doing that. So that's my thing. Like, let me. Like, I want to have my creative control while I can, just in case if one day I get a good enough deal, you know, that I can sign. Because I told myself if I'm going to sign up, if I'm going to be a part of any label, it'll be something like TDF, like with Kendrick Lamar. That's the only.
TDE?
TDE. Yeah. I'm thinking WWF. Like, okay, yeah, with TDE. And because everybody else, you know, I don't know. It's just hard to trust people nowadays because everyone trying to get to the top. Like, everyone stepping on heads to get to the top, you know. And whether it's family, don't matter. Like, I mean, people losing friendships over it, they don't care. You know, me personally, I just feel as though if it's not necessary, you know, I won't do it. If I can make it to the top by being legit, you know, by sticking to, you know, to what I was taught, by being humble, I'm gonna do that. I don't care if that means it's gonna take longer. I'm not gonna fake my way to the top. So, yeah.
And you know what? You opening me up, man. I always tell people when I'm about to go on something deep, you open me up. It's a great thing.
Good.
So I make the podcast. I always think about this, but I thought about it heavily this past week. Because recently, you know, I don't want to work forever.
Right.
You know, I'm 26 years old. I'm about to be 30 in 4 years. You know, and it ain't really even about the age, because I kind of wish that, you know, everything I know now, I kind of wish I knew that when I was like 18, 21 years old, but I don't regret what I went through.
Right.
You know, you have friends and family that'll tell you, like, oh, why you doing this and why you doing that? You should just get a 9 to 5, but I'm like, if you feel that way, you should support me in my craft so I can make the living that I want. So I don't have to worry about failing. I mean, you're going to fail regardless, but I have to worry about, like, being stuck. Because you could fail, but a failure could move you to another place, a new opportunity that can forget that you failed in the first place. Like, yeah, I failed, but it was like, if it wasn't for that, you know, I'm in this great place right now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's like me when I lost my aunt.
Yeah.
I thought my world was over. She died the same day Trump was elected president, November 9th.
Damn.
That was the worst. I felt like the rapture. Like, I thought the world was ending. Like, just imagine losing somebody that you live with. You know, somebody you see every day, you talk to every day. It's like losing a second mom.
Yeah.
You know? And to take such a bad thing and create something beautiful out of it, it's the best thing. It makes you feel good on the inside, because it's like they see you. Because a lot of people, when they lose a loved one, they go, I wish they knew what I was doing, but they know. I feel that deep down inside that they're watching, that they're somewhere around you everywhere you go, and they are proud, and you did not miss that opportunity to make them proud. They may not be here so you can see that they are, but they're proud. I genuinely feel that way, you know. And to be able to come back from a place so dark, so deep, you know, it shows that it's not over. You know, that you're strong enough to, if you can endure this, you can endure anything. If you can endure losing someone that you know all your life, you can endure anything, you know. And who am I? She was just my aunt. She had kids, you know. Her kids, like, they're doing their own thing now, you know. And I speak this mostly for them, because I didn't lose my mom. My mom is still here, so I don't know that pain yet. But just to know that they're still alive, well, and doing their thing, it's just a part of life, and you just gotta learn. You gotta know how to, you know, take it and make something great out of it. So.
I mean, but my thing is, especially when it comes like to death, like especially to a family member, it's still like my aunt. She was like only my grand aunt. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't even like my first aunt, but still, like, me and her was close, and Like I'm like yeah, that wasn't like my grandma or like my mom or whatever, but it still hurt. I used to see her every day before school, cause she still. Where I went to school at, she always did preschool. Like even she raised me, cause when I was younger, she was one of the people that that watched me. When my mom went to work and stuff before I started grade school.
Me too.
So like middle school came around and Hurricane Wilma happened. No, that was before Wilma. Before Wilma came, it was called OLPH. I went to St. Monica. It's a private school. They don't exist no more. But all the middle schoolers went to like 6 to 8 went to OLPH. All this is open locker. You know what I'm saying? Like St. Monica was in Carol City. Then it moved. Then it went to OLPH was always open locker. So whatever. It was right there by my house anyway. So. Every morning, I should always make sure I talk to her. She always give me like an apple or something. And then after school, I go see her. She always give me something, but I'll sit there and talk to her.
Yeah.
See how she was doing and things like that. And I remember before she passed away, because before my uncle Ed passed away, she used to always ask me like, John, you gonna go to St. Louis? Because I had we all have two churches in the family, like from my mom's side, but like from my grandma's side, I was raised in my grandma's church more than my granddad's church. He's Baptist, you know what I'm saying? So she always try to recruit me, like, you should go to St. Louis. That's still like his family, because the Episcopal church was like my home. St. Luke is a Baptist church, off in both of them in the city. St. Luke is in Liberty City, like Brown Subs area, and then like St. Agnes Episcopal Church is like in Overtown. So I was always at that church, the one in Overtown. But she used to always recruit me. I was like, that was around the time I just started school and stuff, like college, and I wasn't really going to school like that. But after she passed, like something just told me, you know what, just start going to church like here and there. Cause I was promised her like, I'm gonna come. I gotta just, trying to enjoy this life. I'm 18, got my own car now and stuff. I'm about to be going.
See, me, I work 5 days a week, and I have Wednesdays and Sundays off.
Yeah.
Which I thought was perfect, because I'm like, okay, I can go to church. But when you working 8 hours a day plus overtime, once you get your off day, you just want to sleep in, you just want to chill and relax. So I haven't been to church in like 4 days. Today, which is the reason, why I was a little late.
Yeah.
I took my grandmother with me. My grandmother, she has Alzheimer's, and she has...
That's my granddad, he got Alzheimer's too.
Yeah, and the thing about my grandmother, which I feel like we're really blessed with, is she remembers us. Like, she doesn't... It's more so of like people that she haven't seen like in a while that she doesn't remember. She'll be like staring off into space sometimes, but if you play her old gospel music from back in the day, she lights up.
Yeah.
So I woke up this morning not even on purpose. I didn't mean to do it. I went to bed at a decent time, and I woke up early, and which I had enough time to get her dressed. It's very hard, okay? It's literally like getting a child dressed for school or something, because she can't do nothing herself, and it's harder because she can't walk, and then she's heavy. She's not a heavy woman at all. She's very fragile and skinny, but all that dead weight and that I'm not very strong. So, and then it's just hard, but I did it. I got her out of bed, I got her dressed, I fed her, I changed her, whatever. I brought her to church, and I feel great. I feel so good, like, to know that I went to church and that I brought her with me. Like, that's what I live for. Like, to do what I need to do, like to do the good things. Because my grandmother, when she was, in her right state of mind, she brought me to church. She changed me. She took care of me. She fed me. So to be able to do what she gave to, what she did to me, that's a good feeling. Yeah, because
my granddad, everybody in my family was like businessmen and women. So my grandma, she used to sew. You know, so I should be up with her all night. It'd be some days when I should spend it at their house. When I finally wanted to spend it at their house, because I'm a mama's boy. But as I got older, you know, a little bit older, like 8, 9, 10 years old, I like, you know, I spend that at my grandparents' house. So she'll be sewing, and he had his shirt business before he retired, technically, because, you know, his Alzheimer's and stuff like that. Being around them a lot, you know, during that time, like, it motivated me to be like my own businessman as I got older. So like now it's like, you know, he's still able to walk around, but I still got to be careful because he walks like, you know, like he's, you know, 5, 6, 7 years old and stuff like that. You know, he's tall, he like 6'5", so it's like I always
6'5"?
Yeah, he's tall.
Oh.
I was at his height. I'm like 6'2", so I wish I had his height. But he, you know, every day, like, a lot of people don't realize that's a lot of responsibility. Like,
yeah, and like I've gotten a lot of like backlash, you know, as an artist because I'm not consistent. People think like my excuses are repetitive, like I'm just making excuses. You know, I've had to cancel plenty of sessions, plenty of photo shoots, plenty of interviews I had to cancel. Because I remember one day I came home from work, I got dressed, I went to a studio session, and I had to leave my grandmother home by herself because everyone in the house works. And when I got back home from the session, she was on the floor.
wow.
Like, she wasn't hurt or anything, but she was down there so long, she didn't even remember that she was on the floor. When I got her up, she was like, "Oh, I'm on the floor." I said, "Yeah, Grandma, you're laying on this cold floor." She was like, "Oh, I didn't know." Because, you know, she has Alzheimer's, so she's, like, out of it. So when my thing is with that, that's life or death. Like, I'm not going to that's when I have to put a pause on my music, you know, and if you can't understand that, then hey, whatever. Her last few years, I'm going to be there. You know, I'm going to be there for her. I'm going to do what I need to do musically, but I feel like losing her, that would hurt me more than to like leave, make my music happen, become successful, and you know, I don't know. It's I don't want anything to happen on my watch. It's a hard thing for people to understand because it's like, hey, you got to do what you got to do. Put her in a home. I'm not putting my grandmother in a home.
No.
Not doing that because once you put them in a home, their days are short. They're nothing. You know, ain't nobody taking care of your grandmother how you would take care of your grandmother. I'm 24. How old was I? I was 22 when I started taking care, you know, of my grandmother. It's a full-time responsibility.
It is.
And then to have that and to work and then to be pursuing music where you also have to
you
put all your time
you become drained. Like, people don't realize.
Draining, you know, so it's like, listen, just because you don't see my work don't mean I ain't working. You know? I'm working every day on my craft. Even if it's in the 4 walls of my room, I'm working on my craft. My whole project is done. My whole project is done. It's just about me recording, mixing, and getting my features and everybody lined up. So that's it, you know. So I don't judge people. There was this one girl, you know, she's a fashion designer. She hasn't done anything as far as fashion. She hasn't styled anyone professionally. She hasn't like made any money off of it, anything. But she has a passion in it. She loves it. She is working towards it, and I feel like I shouldn't treat her any differently from any other fashion designer. So for my shoot, I'm gonna support her brand, even though she doesn't. R&B with Christy Carter. She watched me perform during Art Basel in Miami.
Oh, you perform at Art Basel?
Yeah.
This was it.
Not last year, but the year before. I performed at Art Basel at this place called the Electric Pickle.
I heard of it. I never been there before.
The Electric Pickle and the Melting Pot.
I know about the melting pot.
Yeah, I performed there for Art Basel, and she was there. She does blogs for Miami New Times. Like, she's certified.
What's her name?
Christy Carter.
Christy Carter. I probably heard of her before.
I know her. You ever heard of Yes Jules?
Yes.
She's a
I've been trying to.
She's really hype.
I've been trying to work with Yes Jules and Nomina all of them for some time now.
That's how I found out about Christy Carter.
From Yes Jules?
Yeah, because she does like blogging and stuff for her or whatever. They know each other, whatever.
So you know Yes Jules?
I don't know.
Oh, cause I'm about to say, you got a lot of people behind you.
No, yeah. I wish. She inspires me. She's definitely somebody that I look up to, But Christy Cat was the next best thing. You feel me? Because she's working out here. She done in a matter of a year. She created her brand. She has a podcast. She has a station where she features like music and things like that. And the fact that she reached out to me, I only had 2 songs at that time. No,
because
2 songs. Because
they see the vision, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's the work ethic. Once you start seeing artists that, because first of all, me as a DJ coming first, I got let me hear their music.
Right.
And your music, from only 3 songs that I heard, the Cool Kids track was I heard that,
it was so much growth. Like, the Cool Kids, it really shows how I've grown between, 1999 and Dark Liquor.
But those both was was great tracks, even from saying that you record them 5 years ago, 3-5 years ago, it's you could still promote it and still put it up as a single.
Speaking of that, Dark Liquor, I'm actually working on releasing that as a single, but it's going to be a remix, a duet with a guy, another artist. His name is Jay Only, and I went to school with him, and he's going to feature he's going to do the remix with me, and this time we're going to have our own beat as opposed to using Anthony Hamilton's instrumental, so I'm going to be remixing Dark Liquor very soon. You heard it here first, because we just...
You know what, I love that, because it was the artist I had to interview before, on episode 17, that's going to be released on 17 and 18. It's one of the reasons why, I told him, I love being a DJ, love being in music, because you get to hear stuff, you get to hear stuff, and you get to hear the news first.
Right.
For me, I don't take that for granted. I take that as I'm progressing, I'm working, I'm doing something, I'm not just out here just to be out here. I'm very serious about, what I'm doing in my craft.
That's a good thing. Because I don't know you from a can of paint, but when you cut out of that truck, I just saw business. It was written all over you. You just came prepared. It's just all about how you present yourself. So.
I ain't got the haircut and stuff.
Listen, I've seen way worse. And they make bread. Trey Songz.
Yeah.
Be doing his hair sometimes,
But they also say that that's they always knew if you was working, people tend not to, facial wise, as a man, you can tell that, but they working by the fro and stuff, they getting the haircut. I knew Jay-Z was dropping an album because he let his hair grow out and stuff like that.
Speaking of that, I'm gonna have a photographer. His name is his Instagram name is Soil himself. Soil himself. SOLE himself.
You gotta send me all this piece of information.
I got you. I'm gonna put it all in one message and I'm gonna send it to you. He's a very dope photographer. I don't know if you saw my latest photography on my page. He did that. And we live in the same neighborhood together or whatever. He's very dope. But he was going through, a lot. I'm not gonna speak on his life because that's his personal.
Yeah, it's personal. Yeah.
But when I saw the scruffiness, going on with the hair growing and all of that, I knew something was in the works. And he's definitely working. He's that type of photographer that's willing to, work every day on his craft. And he's not about money. Of course, we're gonna give him what he deserves.
Yeah.
But it's just people like that. I surround myself with like minds. Those who.
Shit, even with this wedding, this.
When is that, by the way?
September 7th.
This year?
Yeah, this year. So I proposed to her last September. So we was gonna do it in December, but we pushed it up a little bit. So so that we can have, September is a good time. It's not too busy, but people are able to come down because she's from New York. She's from Manhattan, so.
Oh, she lives there now?
No. She moved here when she was like 5 or 6.
Oh, okay.
So, but I'm saying like she still got family that she'll go up there, and then she also got family. She's Dominican, so she got family from DR. Mm-hmm. So like September, we felt like it's one of them slow months and things like that. Cause December gonna be. If we was gonna do it December, it'd be crazy. Cause holidays, snowbirds and stuff like that. The weather would be crazy and stuff. So we was like, you know what? September is the perfect day. The only thing that probably stopped that day is a hurricane, which, I'll be joking her about it, but I'm like, God not gonna do that to us. I hope not, but it's, even with that, like, cause of course, that was like my first, better be only proposal. Yeah. Even through that whole process, I tell people, I knew the day I woke up, I thought I really love her. I wanna do this. So it was all destiny. Like I had a job interview up in Sawgrass. Mm-hmm. What I consider? It's like plantation, right? Because it was a city of plantation. I was doing something. Yeah, so Sawgrass plantation. Whatever. All. You know how South Florida is, cities within cities and stuff like that.
Yeah, I say plantation. That's more so plantation.
So I had a job interview there because a year before that, we did like Mother's Day shopping for our parents, and we was at Sawgrass. We went to Zell's, that same Zell's, same lady and all. And we were joking like, oh, we this couple from Key West that we've been together for about 3 years or whatever. We was lying. I personally did that because I'm like, I want to see what type of ring that she like. So whenever that day comes, I know. So she seen it. She like, I really like this ring and stuff. Blah blah blah. I took a picture of it. So literally almost a year later, I went after the interview. I ain't get the job, but whatever. I went to Sawgrass, the Zell. The same people was there. They had the same ring, and then. Once I ordered the ring, cause that was a long process. Cause with that, it was like, damn, like, am I gonna be able to, get it, like, pay it off? But God is good. I got everything paid off.
Really? Oh,
yeah. So pretty much, when you get a ring, like the ring comes with like a birth certificate. So I found out the ring was made like in I think 2014, 2015 in December. So it was meant to be. They had that ring that's sitting there for that long. Yeah. Same as that ring. So like even like the wedding whole process, like sending.
How did you get it fitted and all of that?
I like what's your ring size from like school, from like high school. And she like us 8.5 and stuff. But she'll wear like rings on her. So I just told the lady 8.5. It was kind of big, but they say like as you get older, the ring it could either she could grow out of it or she'll lose, like it'll be too big for her at one point. So they always say like always have insurance on the ring because you have to keep it clean. You have to. Sometimes you have to, restructure the size because, as we get older...
Yeah, lose weight, gain weight.
Yeah, so that process itself, doing that, take care of my granddad, going back to school for a second master's, going to work, doing the podcast, doing all this stuff. And, it's draining, but I love it. Yeah. Especially when I'm dealing with stuff that I really love to do. As far as like music and with sports and things like that. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like I can maybe be an analyst one day. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. You never know. I mean, because I know what I would like to do, but like you never know.
You need your own podcast, honestly.
Me?
You got the voice for it.
I never heard that before, but
yeah, you a homebody, so you might as well just.
You're right. Don't get me wrong. Like, believe it or not, I do record myself speaking in my voice memos. I have, like, plenty of, like, you know, little things that I work on where I just talk about certain things.
Do that.
You know, I don't know. I know you feel somebody watching. But, yeah, like, I mean, I would love to do something, you know, that shows people. To be honest with you, let me rephrase that. It's not about showing people anything, but just something that gets me out of my comfort zone. Because, see, you come from a family where you said your family had businesses. See, the businesses in my family stopped at, like, the older generation, like my grandfather and all of them. Because when he had his kids, he spoiled them. My mother was spoiled. So as far as, like, businesses and stuff like that, my mom didn't have a business. She dropped out of, you know, college when she was pregnant with my first brother. You know, so her strongest point was, you know, teaching us how to handle reality. But, you know, I feel like it's taking things into my own hands and making a name for myself. That's something that came from me. And no one taught me that. No one in my family taught me what I'm going through. That's why it's taking me, you know, longer than it should. But I appreciate it because I'm learning, you know, along the way. It gives me that time to be able to stop, analyze, instead of just speeding over it where I may miss it. So it's hard. Like, even coming here, like, was hard for me because, like, to just get up and drive so far, you know, to do something that you're not getting no money from, that's hard.
I'm not gonna lie, like, I mean,
but I'm just I'm just speaking facts.
No, it's
not
real.
That I'm here. I want to be here, but it's just hard.
Nah, I'm saying, like, as doing a podcast, don't get me wrong, you can make money, but it's slim. It's not slim to none that you have to build it up.
And it's not. It shouldn't be about that. You know? It's not at first.
You want to meet people, like, you want to network, and also
that's why I'm here. I don't want you to think that I didn't want to be here. But generally speaking, it's hard to do it. You think to yourself, like, damn, that's a lot of gas. But then when you look at it, when you think of, like, yourself in the future, you're going to look at all the things that you did,
the archives,
to get to that point. You know, so hey, that's what it is. Like, my family, I feel like the reason why I'm not getting as much support behind my music because they don't see, like, nothing's happening right now. Right now, this is in a way that they can understand. I'm studying. I'm in school. I'm studying for my major right now because they want me to go to school. And I'm just like, until I find something in school that I love, you know, right now it's music. So for them to relate, right now I'm studying. You're not making no money going to these study groups. You're not making money being tutored. You're not making money going to class. I mean, you get a refund check.
Yeah, we get a refund check, boy. Especially now. Help pay them bills and stuff.
Yes, it's the best. I know this one girl, she took her refund check, she never spent it. She just, every time she got her refund check, she put it in an account. Like, for like 3, 4, 5 years straight. Went and bought a car, fresh off the lot, paid for it. I'm like, well, you better than me, because I'm spending something out of that. But
but I always felt like if you get something, like, one, you always should treat yourself a tool. If you was to buy something, make sure that it's at least one or a couple things that you invest in that help you in what you want to be at. Like this camera, for example, I always, even this mic, I should record off the, cause me and my fiance, we have a podcast too called Cuddle Talk. So I gotta. We only got like 8 episodes, but you know it's time and stuff like that. You know,
it'll be like 2, 3, 8. I feel like that's a good amount, especially to start off with.
So it's like I recorded from the laptop, so I'm like, you know what? Let me up it up a little bit. You know, let me get a mic. You know, and then I was like, you know, I want to get a camera. You know, I want to learn how to, you know, do videos and, you know, of course take pictures and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's always about visuals.
Because I invested in both a camera and a mic. I have a Bluebird
Blue.
And I bought a D5000 Nikon. Ended up selling the camera.
Why?
It was too overwhelming. Like, let me tell you, literally, when when it came down to me adjusting the aperture, the shutter speed.
But how big was that camera, dude?
It was pretty big. It was a professional. It was one of those big. That's why I sold it. If it was one of those handhelds that you can like do vlogs and selfies and stuff with.
Oh, you talking about?
It was the actual like big camera. I mean, I got it off of Amazon. It was a deal. It was a package deal. It came with the camera. It came with
talking about bigger than this, right?
No,
it was the
same size. Wait, which one is?
What's the 3400? I think. Dang.
It looks the same size. Wait, No, mine's is bigger than that. A little bigger.
That's what I'm saying. You had them big ones. Like
Yeah, it was a little bigger than that. Just a little bit bigger. Hold on, can I just hold it?
Yeah, you can hold it. Cause the ones I'm thinking about is like it's a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah, cause it was heavy. It was heavier.
Yeah. Cause those are like specifically like for you can take pictures on those, but like for video, it's like perfect. Like this one has video, but it's well known for like pictures. You know what I'm saying?
When I released Dark Liquor, I recorded like a little video of me like in the nature or something, some trees and stuff. I could pull it up, and I recorded that off of my camera. But as far as like taking pictures and editing them, that's where it became overwhelming for me because. Let's see if I can find it. I can't really see it, but. I just set up my tripod and I just had somebody recording like random things with the camera. But that's all I could do was like videos.
Did you know how to edit?
I edited this.
How you edit it on iMovie?
On my laptop.
Was it hard?
No, because I mean I just did the basics where I just took like cut little clips and I put them, you know, in certain places and did like the whole fade in, fade out, the transition or whatever. Those are just basics. I learned it off of YouTube.
YouTube. You could
step by step, and then I just sync the music to it. It was very easy. It took me less than an hour. Yeah,
cause for now, when it comes to pictures, I'm not editing them yet, but like slowly, like little by little, I want to learn how to edit. You know, great, good looking pictures, cause you never know. Someone may reach out to me one day, and be like, I want you to take pictures for this event.
And I know plenty of people, like, because I know a lot of people, they're not, like, established like that. They don't know a lot of people, and they just want to work. So, I know plenty of people like that.
So, I always ask you two questions before I end the podcast. First one is, who's your top 5, like, artists of all time?
Top 5. Okay, MJ, Michael Jackson.
Okay.
First and foremost, Michael Jackson, Lauryn Hill, Jill Scott, Erykah Badu. Who else? And who else?
You say MJ, who else?
Michael Jackson, Lauryn Hill, Erykah Badu.
Okay.
Jill Scott. It's the fifth one. But I'm contemplating because there's so many. I want to say Yolanda Adams. I'm going to say Yolanda Adams because she is like the epitome like of gospel. Like I feel like Yolanda Adams, she represents like all of the other gospel artists, that I grew up off of. But she was more so in my era.
She's a legend. She's a legend though, especially in the gospel.
Yes, like especially vocally. Oh my God, very inspiring. Although I can't hit some of those notes because I'm not a soprano, but just to hear her voice make these sounds that I can't make, it's inspiring. It's like one day I'm gonna do that. Like I'm gonna hit that run one day. So just to know, like I put her in there because I could have easily been like Anthony Hamilton as the last one, or I could easily say like Stevie Wonder, but I wanted to use a gospel artist because that gospel is what brings everything it's what it completes me as an artist.
I was talking to my fiance the other day, and I was telling her like Kurt Franklin to me is very underrated because she knew how to orchestrate music. Like he knew how to orchestrate everything.
I was just listening to his Birth of a New Nation album on iTunes, and I didn't realize, like, it was so nostalgic. So many songs on that album. It started, I'm like, whoa, I remember this song. You listen to something, you're just like, damn, I remember this song from when I was a kid. Like, that's what I grew up off of, you know, and The Birth of a New Nation is such a great album because it spoke about how people looked at him. They were like, oh, he's perverting the word. Like, he's taking gospel in like a perverted kind of way because he's adding hip hop to it. He's rapping, you know.
He changed the game, dude.
Yeah, he changed the game, and then he also recruited outsiders. I'm just saying, I'm quoting outsiders because that's how Christians. That's why I don't call myself a Christian. Like, I'm not a Christian. That's not what I go as. For lack of better words, I can't think of the word right now, but I'm not a Christian. I just spiritual. I accept myself as a spiritual being who believe in Jesus Christ, you know, the Son, the Savior, you know, the world and all of that. But you know, to hear music like that, how someone took something like in the Bible when it comes like Jesus or whatever, when he was out saving people, he didn't go to churches where people knew him. He went to the slums. He went to the people that needed it, not to the people who already knew. So my aunt on her deathbed, she said, Cree, because that's what they call me, Cree. She said, Cree, I think you're singing the wrong genre of music. And she was dying. And for her to have one foot in the world and then another foot in another realm, I'm taking everything she says to heart right now because she can and anything she tells me could be coming from God because she's dying. You know, she's one foot in and one foot out. So when she said that, something changed, you know, within me. So, like, that Birth of a New Nation album, I was riding to work listening to the whole thing, you know, and it just, that's what brings everything together, you know, that piece of gospel, because I want it to be in everything, like Chance the Rapper. The Coloring Book album.
This is very diverse.
Oh my God.
The sound is very diverse.
And like to hear the choir and his music and all of that, it was amazing and very inspiring. So I definitely want to go in a direction where I can take what needs to be said and put it, like, mash it with what everyone wants to hear. So neo soul, trap, gospel, like kind of. But neo soul is kind of, in my way, is gospel in a way.
Yeah, in a way,
It's neo soul is just about the vibe. It doesn't necessarily mean lyrics. I can speak about, you know, being spiritual and it still be neo soul, you know, but I still wanted to have a vibe that attracts, you know, the youth. So.
That's what's up. So the last question is where you see yourself out of 10 years from now?
10 years from now, I see myself still underground.
Still underground?
Not like underground, like nobody. Who's that? What's that
like
guy name?
Tech Nine?
You know, what's his name?
Dr. Dre?
Day and Night.
Day and Night. Oh, Kid Cudi?
Kid Cudi.
Yeah.
Like, people know about Kid Cudi, but Kid Cudi not out there like that. He not winning no like awards, and he's like mainstream, and he's just. Or for instance,
J. Cole like that too, though. You think about it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't want that fame, you know, like Sia. You know, Sia, that Chandelier song.
Yeah.
Her, like, or her, Her.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You don't even know how they look because
she got a great sound too.
Yeah, she has a great sound, and then on top of that, no one knows how she looks, so that she can be amongst us every day. She's living her life. Like, I would like to do that. I don't want to be like Beyonce. I don't want to have to hide myself just going down the street. So you're pretty much a prisoner in your own home without your security, without your bodyguards. I want to have a life. I want to enjoy the world. You know, I want to do those type of things. So that's why I say fame is not my concern. And 10 years from now, I see myself performing on a regular basis, full time. I'm not working no jobs. Neither is my family. And I don't want to take care of them. I'm putting everybody to work, first and foremost, because I supported myself.
That's what Kevin Hart did. Kevin Hart made all his homeboys he made sure that each one had their own identity, like had their own thing, and that's what made him being like one of the most paid comedians in like history.
That's what I want to do, because one thing about it, I shedded a lot of tears because of the support I don't have. So it's very easy to support somebody, but it's not easy to give your hard-earned money or hard-earned work to anyone. You know, so it's like I would rather put you to work as opposed to you not being there for me and just expecting it because we're family. You know, like I'm that type of person. I don't want no one, because instead of me saying no, I'm just going to give you that opportunity to get a yes, you know. So you want some money, okay, you work for it. That's the only way you're gonna get it. I'm not telling you no, but here's the way to get it, you know. So from 10 years from now, I just see myself being a regular schmegular, you know, artist. But you never know, because people gravitate towards who they want to.
I was about to say that, because you never know, your sound may get so. Because I always had this conversation with each artist, you know, a cult following could take you so far. Like, it's bigger than just being famous, but having that cult following, like Kid Cudi, he could come out right now and, like, for a tour, he'll be sold out because the fact that he has that cult following. You know, J. Cole got that cult following, even though he'll probably come out probably like once in the blue moon out of the year, his show gonna get sold out. So you may become an artist like, hey, Christy Carter coming out with that tour. I didn't even know about it. It was on her page.
Yeah.
Sold out. 5 minutes.
I can't wait.
You know what I'm saying? So
there's definitely another reason why I want to change my name, because I feel like Christy Carter is like a movie star name. Like I can just, a lot of people say your name.
You should keep it though. Like you can see, I can see you in movies and things like that. You know, like I said, having your own podcast, being on the radio, being a radio host, you know, being the host of a show one day.
I would love to do something like that. I'm glad you said that, because like just hearing people like tell me things like that is very inspiring, because I'm surrounded by people who don't think I can do it. Like they think my singing is a hobby. They're just waiting for me to get over it and realize I need to get into school or get a good job. I don't have that support like that. You know, I don't. Like, I know people that have family attending their shows and things like that. I don't have that. I don't have that. As a matter of fact, like, I had to cancel a studio session because I'm not going to, you know, do that. But a relative of mine was going out at a party, something that they didn't have to do. And they were supposed to watch my grandmother, and she couldn't be there by herself, so I had to stay. So they couldn't put the club on pause while I go and record music. So that's what I mean by support. You know, like if you support what I'm trying to do, no way in the world you'll put a party before what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, it's like that in the family, but we gonna end on that note. You have any shout outs? Anything coming up before we
Yeah, as a matter of fact, y'all can stay tuned. March 19th, which is not next Monday, but not tomorrow, but next Monday, which is also my birthday. I'm releasing a new single, Whole Grown Woman, and I may, you heard it here first, drop a second track as well. It's like a gift to those who actually support me and have been waiting. I have a performance coming up March 17th, you know, at Miami Warehouse for Women Appreciation Month. Free for women, $7 for guys, RSVP. Another thing, I just want to shout out the Foul Hundreds, New Miami, R&B, Miami Warehouse, Seldom at Fado, Fado, Dino, all of them. Like, I appreciate you guys and your support. And just know I'm not forgetting about y'all, and it's because of people like them that I'm still doing what I'm doing now. So, yeah.
Well, hopefully on the next interview you can bless out of the DJ Anonymous.
Yeah, no, you too. Yeah, I appreciate it, because a lot of people don't hit me up to do this. So when I got that message, I was all for it. So I appreciate that too.
And you know, before I end the podcast, before I even say what platform I'm on, but you know, when artists tell me that, you know, when I hit them up, and it was like, I was excited. I was like, you know, to me, I was excited, but at the same time, me being so humble, I'm like, you be excited for me, you know, I'm not there yet, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was excited. I was excited. When you asked me, I'm like, yes. When my mama heard about it, she was like, she asked me about doing something for her today, and I was like, no, I have a podcast, and she didn't know what it was. And when I explained it to her, she was like, really?
Yeah.
Like, when they see things, when they hear about things like that, that's when the support starts pouring in.
So this gonna be about a 2-hour podcast, 2.5-hour podcast, one of the longest podcasts. I think the longest one I had was like 3 hours. It was with one of my friends from high school, so we was catching up.
Yeah.
You know, then my fiance came in and stuff like that, so it was like 3 hours. But this one of the like longest, so have all your fans, you know, your family and stuff. You know, they can listen to you for about 2 hours and things like that. But that's what's up. That's what's up, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. Like,
I appreciate you for being on the show.
Yes, I appreciate the fact that someone is interested in my life story. It's so boring, but actually it's not. I can't even tell you the fun part yet. But
that's on part 2. We gonna come out. We gonna have plenty of interviews. You know, like one. His name Andres. He has a clothing brand. So he told me like, anonymous. Once I get famous, you know, I want you to be like that person that I want you to interview me. I'm like, hey, let me be that.
Yeah.
So I can try. I want to travel. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to go see new places and things like that. But it's been Sports Biz Music episode 18 with Christy Carter. Before we go, I would like to say the Sports Biz Music Podcast is on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Radio Public, Audio Boom, Stitcher Radio, Vodoo. We trying to be everywhere in everybody's phones, computers, everywhere. But once again, thank you for being on the show, Christy.
Thank you. Oh, you can find my social media, Instagram, Christy Carter Official. I'm sure you'll spell it out for me.
Yes.
Yeah, Christy Carter Official, SoundCloud, Christy Carter, Facebook, Christy Carter, Twitter, Christy Carter _.
Well, they gonna see on the Sports Biz Music page, at Sports Biz Music on Twitter and IG. But on that note, we out.